everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Mystical Munchies, featuring the recipes from the World of H.P. Lovecraft cookbook. The meteor cakes last week were actually pretty good, so now we're on to the drink, the Gibbous Moon. Remember, 5 Saturdays in a month means the 5th Saturday turns into a drink. So, let's start by telling the story. As an avid astronomer from an early age, Lovecraft adored the night sky, and the moon is a recurring theme in his fiction. Sometimes full, sometimes barely a sliver, but one of his descriptors for it seems to be gibbous. A gibbous moon is one that is somewhere between a full moon and a half moon, and this, it seems, offers the best light for sinister happenings. This delicious lemonade is as crispy and refreshing as a sliver of moonlight, while the roundness of the lemons lends it a lunar feel. It is at night, when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. From Dagon. There's an extra note here. For fresh limeade, follow the recipe below and simply use 6 limes in place of the 4 lemons, or you could use a mixture of the two. Try adding chopped mint while the limeade cools for a refreshing mint zing. Well, let's move over to the table where the ingredients are waiting, and we'll find out what we're making today. In order to make this recipe, we need 1/3 cup of superfine sugar, also known as baker's sugar. I could have used the cane sugar that I used for the meteor cakes last week and just processed that down in a food processor, or used granulated sugar and processed that down even further than the cane sugar, but I was able to find baker's sugar, which is another name for the superfine sugar that we need, so that's what we'll be using. 7.5 cups of water, 4 lemons plus extra to decorate. As you can see, I am using limes to make limeade today, and we need ice cubes. Let's move into the kitchen next, and we'll start putting this recipe together. Pardon the oven you hear chirping. We won't need that for the recipe. I'm using the oven as usual for chicken prep. Anyway, now we want to start off with our 1/3 cup of superfine sugar. Again, the baker's sugar I'm using. I was actually able to find this last week when I was looking for something else. I think I was down at Meijer last week and I was like, wait a second, I wonder if I could find the superfine sugar here. So we need 1/3 cup of this. Let's see if I can break up some of these clumps a little bit more. There we are. Okay, that can go back up at this point. Once I find somewhere I can safely... There we go. Never mind. I was able to get it in there. We need 2.5 cups of water, so I'll be using this. I'll be using my measuring cup and reading the meniscus. Once it decides it wants to settle, then I'll read the meniscus. Okay. So there's 2 cups. And we need another 1/2 cup. Okay. There's our other 1/2 cup of water. And we need all of the lemons, in this case the limes that we're using. So I will drop the limes in. Okay, I'll turn that burner on high. What we want to do now is we're going to bring that to a boil making sure we stir well until all of the sugar has been dissolved. So I think we're going to... You're hearing a little bit of sizzling, most likely. I had some water spill over onto the burner, so I'm not too terribly worried about that. We'll probably kill the camera once the water starts boiling. Then after that, we'll remove it from the heat and add the remaining water. At that point, actually, I'm not going to make you guys watch boiling water. You guys can probably figure out, bring water to a boil, stirring well until all the sugar's dissolved. So we will come back to this after we've added the remaining water and it's had time to cool. We're going to take some slight amendments to the recipe. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to start crushing the limes to release the juice. I'm not going to crush all of them up, we'll just do a few of them here on camera. Because I'm not going to make you guys sit through me crushing all of these up. That's what we're going to be doing, though. So after that's done, then I'm going to run it through a strainer into the pitcher. Then I'm going to throw it into the fridge to cool, and we'll take a look at how the limeade looks when we come back from that. Here's our first look at the Gibbous Moon, as it's been cooling for a couple of hours now. So I'm going to throw some ice cubes in a glass, pour some of this into that glass, and then I'll meet you guys over at my desk for the taste test. I've got some of the limeade right here, the Gibbous Moon. I've had lemonade several times, and I've even made it a couple times on the channel. This is the first time I've ever made limeade, though. So let's see what I think of this limeade. I was not expecting it to come out quite that tart, I think is the word I want for that. I was not ready for that at all. First time having limeade, maybe I think I was expecting the flavor to be watered down a little bit more rather than tasting mostly lime and it coming out very, very tart and sour like that, and I just felt a buzz on my phone. Okay, that's nothing we need to worry about there. But, whew, that is a strong lime flavor. I'm not sure I'm going to drink more of it, but that's another episode of Mystical Munchies in the books. Next week, we'll be starting a new cookbook with the appetizer, but I'll talk more about that during Pinot with Phoenix tomorrow afternoon. As for what else is coming up on the channel, I do have a game queued up for later today, but I'm going to hold that close to the vest until I'm ready. Likely before that, though. I was going to try to do it after, but the morning kind of got away from me a little bit. And the limeade took longer to cool than I thought anyway. This afternoon, I will be live on Jester's channel as a guest on the War Room this week. So stop by his channel at 4 Eastern, 3 Central to check that out. Sunday morning, we're playing Machina Arcana from A Dream of Games. As I mentioned, Sunday afternoon, we're going to have Pinot with Phoenix for August 2025. I may try to squeeze in one more game before Pinot with Phoenix, but I'm not completely decided on that yet. Monday, we've actually got a lot of great stuff coming up on the channel. Monday, we're going to have a triple header as we start the 2009-10 playoffs in my hockey season replay on the channel. I'm going to pull up the brackets here so I can decide what matchup we're starting with, so bear with me while I grab that. I think we are going to start in the Western Conference with the 4-5 matchup on Monday morning, as we'll be at, we'll be in Dallas, Texas. I forgot what the arena is off the top of my head, though. We will be starting Monday morning with the Dallas Stars at the Edmonton Oilers in the knockout round of the conference quarterfinals. As for Wednesday, we will be playing Western Front Ace by Compass Games. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.